Hello, my name's Paul Brown. I'm the Technical Advisor for Construction at City and Guilds, and today I'm going to be joined by another Technical Advisor, Alison Whittle, to talk you through our Level 2 Technical Award in Construction. We want to talk you through our City and Guilds Technical Award in Construction and the Built Environment. We have two offers, the 6-7-20-21 and the 6-7-20-22. We want to talk you through the support and resources that are available for these qualifications, delivery models, the assessment strategy used, how to mark the synoptic assignment, how technical awards are graded and the performance tables that apply, and where to find further support. As you can see on this slide, as I mentioned previously, there are two offers. Both are 120 GLH in size, equating to 1 GCSE. The constructing and maintaining the built environment consists of 4 units, as shown on the slide, and the design and planning built environment consists of 3 units, as you can clearly see. They are approved to appear on the 2020 DFE performance tables. One of the first things you need to do is register learners on the wall garden, and this slide provides you with a summary of how to go about doing that. It is important that you select the right title or code, and in this case it's a technical award 6-7-20-21 or the 6-7-20-22. For further information, there is a link at the bottom, as you can see, which will take you to other support resources which will guide you through the use of the wall garden. So if we take a look at support and resources that are available to you as a centre, we have a number of generic resources: the Marking and Moderation Guide, Teaching and Learning and Assessment Guide. These documents will help plan your delivery and enable you to understand the assessment strategy and delivery methodology that is recommended within these qualifications. It will also give you information on the moderation process itself. The link at the bottom of the slide takes you directly to these generic documents. In addition, we have also sent you a welcome pack, which essentially takes you from a start to finish position in relation to the technical qualifications, and particularly importantly is the exam timetable, which gives you the dates and times for the exams for the technical award in construction. In addition to generic resources, we have more specific material to support you in delivering the technical award on the actual web page in relation to that qualification. So in this example, the 6-7-20-22 or 21. On that web page you will find a qualification handbook. You will also find reports on the qualification itself, Chief Examiner and Principal Moderator reports, so you will see the national picture on past results. You will have access to the synoptic assignment itself, which, as said earlier, is password protected. There is a frequently asked questions section, and you'll also find sample synoptic assignments. And for the exam, you'll also find sample question papers and the associated marking schemes, as well as past papers as well, and the exam guide document itself. Please do remember that you do need to book your learners on the synoptic assessment and the theory exam in the year they are actually carrying out those. I now want to hand you over to Alison, who will talk you through some delivery models.
Before we look at some of the delivery models, I think we just need to look at some of the considerations when delivering the technical award, because it will require a holistic approach. That means the full syllabus will need to be taught just the same as in all GCSE exams, where you would teach the whole specification. Exams and tasks are then set from the content in the specification. The main difference is that they are not unitised and not unit assessed. The only evidence that we require is the end test and synoptic assignment, and City and Guilds provide both of these assessments to you. There may be additional evidence that your centres may require in line with the Common Inspection Framework, for example, some formative marking, ongoing tests, and evidence of tracking your progress. The next two slides, we're going to look at some examples of 1- and 2-year delivery programmes. So this slide looks at a possible delivery model over one academic year. So to give you an idea of what that could look like, the idea would be that you would begin your delivery in September, at the beginning of the autumn term, and that would include your induction to the technical award. You would then deliver all of the knowledge, including the practical skills if they're required, until February in the spring term. The synoptic assignment and controlled assessment will be released to centres for tutors in the autumn term in September. And this is to allow the centres to prepare for the assessment and allow for the resources that may be required to deliver this assignment. You would then register your learners for the end test in the first exam window. The dates are on the website, and the first exam series are in February and March. When your learners sit the first exam, the results of that end test will be submitted to your centre by the end of May. That then allows the centre sufficient time to re-enter learners for the theory exam in the second series if you wish to have a resit or those learners need to improve their marks. The second sitting in May or June, the results of that will be released to the centre in August alongside the remaining of the GCSE qualifications for that year for other exam boards. So just to clarify, please be aware that there is no opportunity for a resit for the synoptic assignment in the same academic year. So this slide looks at what a 2-year delivery programme could look like. So it's a sample really showing you how to plan your delivery over 2 years. And this is just a suggestion because each centre will have their own models and have their own timetabling. So year 1, you could focus on the delivery of the syllabus. And you could maybe enter your learners for the June or the May-June exam series at the end of year 1. So there's been something to work towards for the whole of that academic year. Then the results of that second exam series in May and June, you will have the results of that in August alongside all other exam boards qualifications for GCSEs, etc. That means when your learners come back and start the second year in September, you then register the synoptic assessment, and that is released to tutors in September of that year. You can then prepare your learners for that synoptic assignment in the February and March in the second year, having had all that knowledge delivered in the first year as well. Now, centres will be able to release their synoptic assignment to learners in February. Now, in this year, the date was February the 4th when synoptic assignments went live. This date will be altered every year and will be available on the website. So all the evidence for synoptic assessment must be submitted in May, and the date again will be on the website. This year it is May the 17th. So with a 2-year delivery, if you have any learners that took the exam in the first year in May and June and were either not successful or you want to improve their grade, you can see in the second year there are other exam opportunities, either in the first exam series, which is February and March, for any retakes, or you may want to wait for those learners to take the exam later on in the year, which will be the May-June series. Again, the results will be coming into you in August for the May-June series and May for the February-March series. I think it's really important at this point to point out that there is only one chance for a resit. So you can take the exam and have one of those resits. So this does not mean there is 3 times you can actually sit the exam. It's one exam and one resit in those windows. But as you can see, there is complete flexibility with your delivery models over a 2 and even a 3-year in some case program. We have an excellent exam guide document which is available on our website. This provides lots of valuable information on how to teach your learners the exam vocabulary and the types of answers that will be required by each command verb. You will see some examples on the graphic here, where we're looking at the words list, label and state. That possibly would require more short word answer tests, more short word answers rather than the longer in-depth, such as analyse, compare and evaluate. This guide is critical for the success of the theory exam, and as I say, it's the first document really to prepare your learners in how to sit their first theory test. On this slide, we're looking at some key exam dates for the 2018 and 2019 academic year. And this provides a series of dates that are critical for booking windows, which close this year on the 22nd of December for the first exam for the technical award for this year. Centres only have to book assessments in this window if they're actually taking the theory exam in February and March 2019, or are taking the synoptic in this academic year. Obviously, if you have a 2-year programme, then you'll be looking at the dates that will be published for next year's windows. So please note, if you want to enter your learners for the 2019 theory exam, you will need to book this between the 1st of March and the 27th of April 2019 if you're planning to have theory exams in this 2018-19 academic year. If your learners are doing the synoptic in the 2019-2020 academic year, then you will need to book that in autumn 2019. There is a document available on the website that provides all of these key dates. This is a visual of a curriculum planner that we produced, really as an exemplar of how to deliver the technical award. We have past examples of a 1-year and a 2-year delivery model. We've looked at some centre feedback for this year, and what we have done is produce an editable version with all of the key dates on. This document is available for you to download, and then you can input your own delivery model within the editable version. This then allows you as a centre to plan your own delivery model, which will be conducive to your timetable.
Now let's take a look at the assessments in relation to the technical awards. As you can see, there are 2 aspects to the assessment of the technical awards. The first being a synoptic assignment. This is externally set by City and Guilds and internally marked by the centre, who also standardise those marks. It is then externally moderated by City and Guilds and contributes 60% of the overall grade. The opportunity to carry out the synoptic assignment is available within a 12-week window, and there is only 1 resit allowed. The second part of the assessment is the theory exam. This is externally set by City and Guilds, externally marked by City and Guilds, and contributes to 40% of the overall grade for the qualification. There are 2 dated opportunities in each academic year to sit the theory exam, and there's only 1 resit allowed. The technical award in design and planning the built environment, the theory test in this particular case is 2 hours in duration. You do need to book the exam as previously mentioned, and it is important when you are booking the exam that you select the correct code. If you wish to do the exam on Evolve, then in this example you use code 004, and if paper based you would use code 504. As previously stated, the exam contributes to 40% of the overall grade and is either an outcome of a pass, merit or distinction, and 1 resit opportunity only. That is particularly important. As you can see, I've also explained that if you decide to do it paper based, the exam papers are dispatched to the centre 2 weeks before the exam, and it is important that the exams are conducted under invigilated exam conditions following JTQ requirements. We have provided with you a technical exam guide, and as you can see, the exam is based around 3 of the assessment objectives out of the possible 5. These are recollection of knowledge, understanding of concepts, and the integrated application of knowledge and understanding. And on this particular slide, for each one of those, it gives you the mark allocation percentage, so you can see where the emphasis lies in relation to the types of questions you are likely to get. The theory exam itself, so this is the design and planning 6/7/2022, you have those 3 units listed. So 205, referencing to developing communities, planning and designing the built environment, and creating and presenting building design. And you can see clearly there the number of marks associated with each of those units and the percentage weighting. There is also an integration across all 3 units which carries 9 marks, giving a possible total of 60 marks. The technical exam documents on our web page. So here you can see a snapshot of the actual web page. The exam guide gives you a lot of information about the assessment objectives and an explanation and definition of the command verbs used in the exam. It is particularly important that you and the learners understand the command verbs that are used and what they actually mean, and this guide will support you in that process. As you can see, there is a link at the bottom of this page which takes you directly to this particular document, so you can look at further information to help prepare yourselves and the learners for the exam. The synoptic assignment typically consists of a research type activity. There is a requirement to reflect and evaluate. They are moderated, as we stated earlier, in order to ensure robust quality and rigour. And this year, the 12-week window to carry out the synoptic assignment commenced on the 5th of February to the 18th of May. And as earlier stated, contributes to 60% of the overall marks. Only one reset opportunity is allowed. However, please note that if the candidate fails the assignment, then the next time they can take the synoptic will be in the following academic year. And the synoptic assignment is graded a pass, merit or distinction. The synoptic assignment is set by sitting guilds and entirely marked by the actual centre. We make this synoptic assignment available to centres in September, so you can prepare and plan for that synoptic assignment. It is password protected, so you do need to look at the walled garden to get that password. Please note that the synoptic assignment does differ each year, and the learner needs to pass the synoptic assignment as well as the exam in order to achieve the qualification. But if a learner does fail the synoptic assignment, they can do a resit, but as I stated earlier, that resit is in the following academic year. Some further information on the synoptic assignment in relation to the carrying out of that work. It has to be done independently, so the learner has to work independently. Tutors cannot provide feedback to learners while they're carrying out that assessment for that particular assignment. There is guidance given on further information in relation to this, so please do look at that document under the marking and moderation guide. And also there is information in the synoptic assessment assignment pack and recording forms that are produced for that particular synoptic assignment. So the weighting for the synoptic assignment, as you can see, is shown on this slide. So We've got assessment objective 1 through to 5, 1 being the recall of knowledge, 02 understanding of concepts, 03 application of practical and bringing it all together under 04, and 05 attention to detail. And what we've tried to illustrate here is the typical expected type of evidence that we'd expect to see, as well as the approximate weighting. There is a link at the top, as you can see, takes you to a YouTube video which gives you and runs through how you go about marking a synoptic assignment. I do now need to make reference to the moderation portal. This is the platform at which the marks and evidence of the synoptic assignment are uploaded. It is password protected, so you do need to find that password, and the administrator will have that in your centre. There is a link there which takes you to a vast array of resources to support you in the use of the moderation portal itself. The actual moderation process for the technical award is done remotely as opposed to a visiting moderator. And there are 3 possible outcomes as a result of the moderation process. The first is where the moderator is in agreement with the centre marking, so all the marks are accepted, or where the moderator feels that there needs to be some adjustment take place because the centre has been too lenient or maybe too harsh in relation to the marking, or where there is a requirement to have a full remark, and in this case the moderator's marks are the ones that carry forward to the national moderation process. Now let's look at the marking of the synoptic assignment itself, and I will hand you over to Alison, who will take you through tutors' responsibilities in relation to this.
Okay, so just to look at some of the other responsibilities that as a tutor you have for marking the synoptic assignment, you will see there is an URL link there that links you again to some YouTube videos which are really handy to look at how to mark and give you some marking in some great detail. But overall, tutors need to make sure that you have read the marking and moderation guide. You need to comment on the paperwork we provide on the quality of work produced, and you only need to allocate marks, not grades, against each of the assessment objectives. The total marks for each learner are out of a possible 60 marks. You will then submit the marks for your whole cohort. Now, to submit the learner's evidence in the sample, this will depend on your size of the cohort that you deliver to. So, for example, if you have 12 learners or less, we will want to see all 12 learners, or all of those marks for those learners, if it's the 12 or less. We'd ask you to include a sample for the range of the highest marked learner, the lowest marked learner, and a range somewhere in between. If you have 13 to 100 learners, we would require a sample size of 12. Again, a range from the highest to the lowest and a range in between. If you have between 101 and 200 learners, we require a sample size of 15. Again, the highest, the lowest and the range in between. And exactly the same for more than 200 learners, the sample size is a maximum of 20, showing a range of learners as well. What is important is that all of the evidence must be uploaded. It must be collated in a logical order and named with the relevant tasks involved. For example, if there are 3 tasks involved in your synoptic assignment, they should be clearly labelled Task 1, Task 2 and Task 3. There is further guidance and information on the marking and moderation portal, and there is a range of resources to support you on our website. Just to clarify, this is not visiting moderation, so there will be no visiting moderator. You will just need to submit the marks for your learners. And you will mark the whole of your learners and only submit the sample size on the moderation portal. So just to look at some of the information on the slide, again looking at tutors' responsibilities for marking a synoptic assignment. It is important to think that learners do not have to complete the assignment in one day. So if you have a 4 or 3 hour half-day session with your learners and the assignment tasks are say 15 to 20 hours, that can be 3 consecutive delivery days that you can then carry out your assignment. You need to plan the schedule for the synoptic according to the volume of learners, your timetabling, the physical resources you have available and the tutors that are available for that. The assignments are internally marked by your tutors, but you must use the following forms that City and Guilds provide. That is your candidate record form. You also need to submit evidence to show that your centre has standardised the work exactly the same as you would for internal quality assurance if there is more than one marker. We also need a declaration of authenticity form. Should you have a personal interest or you actually know one of your candidates, that must also be declared on the personal interest form, and the practical observation form that must be submitted alongside all of this evidence. So all of these forms will be found under section 3 on the website. Again, there is a link to where you can find this information. As we said, a different assignment is provided each year, but the evidence produced will be internally marked using exactly the same marking grid each year with the same weightings in your assessment objectives to support comparability across the versions.
Now let's look at the marking grid used to allocate the marks associated with the work produced by the learners. As you can see on this slide, you have the assessment objective on the left hand side. There are 5 of those as previously mentioned. You've also got the weighting of that particular assessment objective and some questions to prompt you to where to focus when you're looking at the learner's work. You also have band descriptors 1, 2 and 3. Please note these must not be read as pass, merit or distinction. They are bands with associated marks and they are specific to the particular synoptic assignment and generic in nature, again to provide some guidance for you. And then you will see you've got example types of knowledge expected to see in the evidence from the learners and some further details in the salmon shaded windows. These are specific guidance for that particular synoptic assignment for that particular year. Once the marks are allocated, you do need to consider the group as a whole. And you need to look at verifying the marks that you have allocated by positioning them in a rank order and then re-looking to ensure that the marks that have been allocated do reflect the band descriptors themselves and decide on if the marks allocated should be uploaded to the moderation portal after going through this standardisation process.
So the next few slides are really about how technical awards are graded and their sort of relationship with performance tables and GCSEs. So assessment and grading. The results of the theory exam and synoptic assignment and overall grade are made available to centres on the walled garden. The overall qualification grade will be calculated based on the aggregation of points that are awarded for the learner's achievements from the theory exam and the synoptic assessment, and these are then converted into grades. The technical awards are graded as fail, pass, merit, distinction, and distinction star is taken midway from the top 10% of learners achieving a distinction. Both assessments, which means the exam and the synoptic assignment, must be achieved at a minimum of a pass before the qualification can be awarded. Unfortunately, there are no compensatory methods allowed, so therefore you have to pass both the theory exam and the synoptic assignment to achieve the qualification. There is no set pass mark published in advance. as this is decided by an expert panel using an awarding process. Although you will be able to look at the grade pass boundaries from the previous year, which give an indication of what the pass boundaries would be for this qualification. The contribution of assessments towards the overall grade is set out in each of the qualification handbooks. This slide shows the points awarded against a GCSE qualification. You will see that the technical award only has 4 possible grades instead of a GCSE, which now has 9 possible grades. All technical awards are set at level 2, which is equivalent to GCSE pass grades of 4 to 9 only. So, for example, Distinction Star on your performance tables will be worth 8.5 points. A distinction is worth 7 points, a merit is worth 5.5 points, and a pass is worth 4 points. Ofqual may adjust or alter these grades in line with any alterations to GCSE grading, or where a formula may be applied to allocate the percentage of learners who can be awarded a distinction star. So just to explain this slide, discounting codes apply where a qualification is considered to have significant overlap in content to another qualification. In this case, a discount code may be applied. This means that although the learner can achieve both qualifications and be awarded certificates for similar qualifications, only one of these qualifications will count in your school's or college's performance tables. There is a link to this document showing all the discount codes, which is available on the Department for Education website and is uploaded and changed yearly. This slide provides links to all of the relevant DFE documents required for information on Progress 8 and performance points. You will see there that all City and Guilds technical awards will count in the Key Stage 4 performance tables from 2018 onwards, and this includes the 2020 performance tables. So this next section is where to find the resource and supports available to you. This slide shows you a screenshot of where you can find all these resources. They are all free to download and provide information to help with your delivery, teaching and assessments. There is a dedicated section for Key Stage 4, as you will see on the right side of your screen, and resources and support available for teaching and learning, curriculum plans, help with Maths and English support, and all of your online teaching and support resources.
In addition to the previously mentioned generic resources, I provided you here a snapshot of the web page for the 720. And as you can see, there are various tabs. These tabs, once clicked on and opened up, take you to a number of files. And in those you will find the examiner and qualification reports, past papers, sample tests and projects, and the qualification handbook and exam guide. We do have a dedicated technical and moderation support team, and the details are provided on this slide. Please do feel free to contact them. They are available Monday to Friday 9 till 5 and will provide support to you on those items listed. So, for example, where to find documents, general queries about technical qualifications, the approval process, exam timetables and so on. So please do take advantage of this support. As a technical advisor for construction, then we do offer dedicated support for the technical qualifications. We can help you in the understanding of the qualification content and the requirements, onboarding to help you prepare for curriculum delivery, timelines for registration and booking exams, and any kind of industry specific technical queries. On this final slide you have my contact details and my colleague Ian Roberts' contact details, as well as our reference to our Twitter page. We also each month produce an All About Construction publication which updates centres on everything to do with construction. You will get this through email alert, so please do read it. So to conclude, Alison and I would like to thank you for listening and hope that you found these slides very useful. Thank you.